This is typically a time of year when CenterState CEO highlights all the great economic news in our community. And today, they did again, despite the pandemic. CenterState's Senior Vice President for Business Development, Andrew Fish, joining us now. Andrew, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
So some of the data you have in here is pre-pandemic, but there's a large part of it that is from the past 8 months under COVID-19. Probably not surprising to you because you look at the numbers regularly, but how much great economic news there is out there to share was a little bit surprising to me, and probably maybe some others as well.
Yeah, and despite being able to see that data as we go, it was definitely still a little bit of a surprise to us as it was coming all together. But, you know, we had over 295 economic champions that we highlighted, over 2,400 new jobs that they put in place, and over $750 million of capital investment. And, you know, those numbers, surprisingly, are not too far off from what we saw last year at this time for last year's event. And so, you know, while there's certainly been a huge challenge that this year has provided in terms of COVID-19 and the pandemic, we're seeing some bright spots. We're seeing some exciting projects that are advancing. You know, obviously a lot of these numbers were impacted by the large facility that's being built in Clay there by Amazon. But, you know, at a time where we are certainly concerned about a lot of things, there's some real bright spots in our community.
So that Amazon one is definitely a big one for this year, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It you know, has a lot of the square footage impact that we're seeing in the job numbers. And so, you know, it certainly bolsters some of those numbers this year, but you know, it's projects like that when they do come along and you're able to see the impact they have on the community. Those are always great, and particularly at a time when we have a lot of challenges that we're facing.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that we're facing here in our community. We've highlighted a lot of the positive stuff, but clearly there are people still hurting from this. What are we looking at challenge-wise? Are there particular sectors or types of things? Or
I mean, you're still seeing a tremendous negative impact in the retail and hospitality industries, and you know, candidly, there's been a disproportionate impact of the effects of the pandemic. You know, not just health-wise, but also economically for, you know, minorities and women in our community. And so we've got a lot of work to do as a community still to continue to be intentional about how we can support those individuals, connecting them with job opportunities, or, you know, providing them with assistance about, you know, starting their own businesses. But we're enthusiastic about some of the successes that happened this year. I mean, 88 new business creations that we highlighted, and that was just the ones that, you know, kind of were within our ecosystem that reported on it. And you know, it's a really challenging environment to start a business, and it's that kind of passion and commitment for those folks that are, you know, venturing out into a new area during kind of one of the biggest crisis we've had in a while economically. That's going to get us through this and help us to have a strong recovery.
Let's talk a little bit about the Community Visionary Award winner for this year. It is the Allen Family Foundation. They do a number of things here, but probably nothing bigger than the Salt City Market. How impactful can this be, and what's their generosity mean to this community? You
know, it's tremendously helpful on a number of fronts, and you know, this isn't just a real estate project that they're working on. I mean, this is them standing up a support system for food entrepreneurs, working with a lot of immigrant individuals in our community that are looking to start businesses and have great talents and expertise to bring to bear. And they're not just creating a space for them to do that, but also putting the supports around it in partnership with working with CenterState and some of our team here to help with technical assistance. How do you run your books? How do you, you know, do your ordering? All of those things. And so it's going to be through intentional supports like that we're going to see a huge difference. And also, this is a step in the direction of moving some of that development and some of that growth that we've seen in our downtown into our more disadvantaged communities, into the areas on the south side and the north side and the near west side that, you know, have traditionally not seen investments. And so this is a start of what we hope to see continue in terms of projects moving into those communities, having positive impacts, engaging the community itself in those projects, and helping them to get access to those opportunities that are being created.
Right from the get-go, CenterState has been very forward about trying to provide resources and help for all the businesses in this community.
Yeah, it was interesting. This has been one of the busiest years I can remember doing this work, and when the first shutdown started, the volume of inquiries, the concerns that businesses were having, the lack of information that they just couldn't find anywhere, we're not quite sure what they needed to do, became our #1 priority. How can we be a broker of good information, be a resource to them, making connections for them where appropriate, helping them navigate the state's essential business designation process, or understanding what protocols they needed to follow and what kind of a reopening plan they needed to have. We're seeing a tremendous amount of resiliency just in the numbers that were reported today by this community and by this region. It gives us a lot of hope. It gives us a lot of optimism, but there's still a lot of really challenging things ahead, a lot of hard work to do, and we're, at CenterState CEO, we are here and ready to do that work and want to provide the resources to this community to get us through that and into a strong recovery.
CenterState CEO, Senior Vice President for Business Development, Andrew Fish, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.